Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tasha, now Frazier, formerly Haskins show. I'm probably going to say that for maybe another, I don't know, 4 weeks until I get used to it and then everyone else gets used to it. But welcome again. As you guys, I don't know if you know, but I'm not doing it every Tuesday. I've been doing it every other Tuesday just to kind of allow myself to gain momentum and just get myself back up to beat after recovering just from all of my radiation therapy. But anyway, I'm super excited for today's show because you guys know one of my favorite things to do is to pageant. So we are going to be talking to a newly crowned international beauty queen. I mean, she's like brand spanking new. Like I was like, hey lady, I would love for you to be on the show. Unfortunately, the other queen is not going to be able to make it, but we do have one and it's going to be an amazing, outstanding show. Now, I want to just kind of give a few shout outs here to, of course, Paparazzi Julia. I am now a distributor. So I got Little Brown going on here, trying to, do something different. And I actually did my own makeup today. Usually Vanessa would be here, but I decided to kind of venture out and do my own thing. No, actually, I was just tired, but that's okay. All right. So anyway, I'm going to show you guys a fun clip of one of our guests tonight. Again, the other one was not able to make it tonight, but I'm going to show you a clip of her crowning moment on the international stage. Gosh, like 48, I don't know, 48, whatever, 48 plus 24 hours ago, being crowned in Texas. So stay tuned and watch.
Your Miss Plus World Humanitarian Ambassador is Miss Rachael. Plus Intercontinental Humanitarian Ambassador, Kimberly Walker.
All right, so I am going to now bring on with me the beautiful, amazing Kimberly Walker, who is the brand spanking new Ms. US Intercontinental Humanitarian 2022. And there she is.
Woo-hoo! Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hey, long time no see. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Hello, everybody. So excited to be here today. Tasha, thank you so much for the invitation.
Well, you are incredibly welcome. Thank you so much for coming on. I know it was kind of like, hey, you're an international beauty queen. I want you on my show. But that's what it's about, being a queen. You have to always be ready to go. You have to know that now you wanted this title, you prepared for it, you paid all the money for it, you got all the clothing for it, and now you actually have a job to do. And people want to hear from you. People want to know who this mysterious Kimberly Walker is. So first of all, watching that kind of crowning, how does that make you feel, seeing it kind of third party, not actually being on the stage?
Well, first of all, my feet were hurting, right? So probably it's like, ooh, hurry up. But, there's something so special about when you hear your name called and you know that your purpose to be there in that very spot, it just brings such wonderful, warm, and like, I don't know, joy feelings to you. So I was like, yes, I did it. And I was just taking it all in. I was smiling. I was saying thank you. I definitely appreciate each and every judge who was present, gave their time, and blessed me with this title. So exciting. It is amazing. It feels so amazing.
Well, I mean, you are probably one of the most gracious queens I see to be crowned, because other people, I won't name them, tend to be overly dramatic when they're crowned. And you managed to stay very queenly, and just the words I kept hearing all weekend long were just how elegant and how regal you are. And I know that that is exactly, ooh, yes, let there be light. Okay, there she is, you guys. But I know just, how regal and just how elegant you are. And that's how you are on a day-to-day basis. You guys, this is a unique interview for me because I've actually known her since middle school, and yet I've always just esteemed her in every position that she's had. And for whatever reason, she trusts me in the pageant industry. So I've had the opportunity to work with her. So I just consider it a major honor. So can you just talk about a little bit of your, pageant journey? I mean, kind of going from being thrusted into it to being a state queen, to being a national queen, to now an international queen.
Sure. So my very first experience of pageantry, a certain person right here whose show I'm on, like literally dragged me into pageantry. I was like, no. Our mutual friend, Lakila Stewart Monroe, she had, entered into Miss Plus America. She won everything. And then when she came back home, they were like, you're next. Let's do this. And so I did, with some, tugging, some pulling. I showed up, and my very first pageant experience was out in, I think, Marysville, and we were doing like this practice camp, and it's like a mini prelim. And so I remember putting on the gown, putting my shoes on, walking the stage, and the on-stage question. And I think the question was actually, who do I most admire? And of course, like everyone who normally does, I say, what? My mama. And so that was the first pageant experience, being spotlight was on me. And I was talking about this wonderful woman who birthed me and gave me this life that I have now. And then from then on, I went through the process, the Tasha process, and competed in Miss Washington Plus America. And God blessed me to win the Ms. division. And so I was able to reign in, I think, 2012, 2023. So I feel like I'm a little bit of a veteran now, so I went from there, went to nationals, had an experience there, met some amazing ladies, came back home, and the questions began to happen, which was, how did you do what you do? Like, how do you get on stage? How do you let people judge you, critique you? Like, you're a big girl. Don't you feel like self-conscious? Or all these questions, like, no. See, the thing is, before that time period, I did not really think about my confidence. My parents have always instilled in me that I'm a beautiful person, and that what I think and what I feel is important and valued. But I never really walked around talking about I'm a confident woman. I'm a confident girl. I was just, being me. And so when the crown went on my head and my inbox began to fill up with women asking me, and honestly, I was stumped. I was like, I don't even know how to answer this. It's not my comfort zone, to be in the spotlight as I have been at the time. And so I really had to kind of think about it, how to pray about it. And I prayed about it, and I said, God, you set this up, so what am I supposed to do next? And that's when I went to sleep after one of those prayers, because it happened more than one time. I literally woke up with a download from my platform, My Passion Curves, Beautifully Empowered. That's empowered to soar into personal awesomeness, to see, to accept and love who they are just as they are. And my job was to help them get there. And that's how we launched into who I am today.
Wow. Well, now you can see, you guys, she knows how to answer all those questions just like that. The one she wasn't sure how to answer. Now she's like, I know exactly it. And I remember when you birthed, that movement, and we're having to come forward. It's interesting. A lot of people get into pageantry because they want it to be like, look at me, I'm amazing. And you were kind of like, do I really have to do this? You and Makila were literally, I don't know. I didn't hold you at gunpoint, but it may have been close to get you guys to do that. But now I'm thinking about all of the women that you have impacted, including myself, and getting them, like you said, to soar into their personal awesomeness. All right. So I consider you to be just a lifestyle humanitarian. A person who loves people, who cares about people, who is going to go into the highways and byways, who's going to roll up their sleeves and take their crown off and help other people. That's just how you are. This is how you move. So what did it mean to you to actually now have an international, world recognized title that's like you're the queen of humanitarianism. I mean, like, what does that tell me how that impacts you to be wearing, I guess, a title that you already live?
Absolutely. Entering into, first of all, Miss US Plus World, when I won to become to represent the United States of America at Miss Plus World in Houston, Texas, the goal was to take what I've been doing every day, to your point, Tasha. Like, I was born to inspire people. I didn't always know it, but I figured it out. Two, I'm also a pastor's child, and so I've been raised to serve others. I'm professionally a social worker, and I, every day fund programs, and I troubleshoot, and I make connections happen for our young people in particular Washington State. So that's just who I am, and I really wanted a platform that allowed me to stretch myself, go beyond the United States of America, and really serve the world globally. So what this means to me is that it gives me a vehicle to do that. It gives me a vehicle to take my amazing conference, Courage, Beauty, and Power experience, which is about motivating, it's about healing, it's about digging deep, because a lot of times we're very surface. We don't deal with the heart matters. And our heart matters are the things that trip us up in life, that we will self-sabotage ourselves, we do all these horrible things to ourselves, not even realizing that we're doing them. And so my job is to do the heart work with people, in particular women who are ready to shift out of their current situation. I don't care if you're a boss CEO, you a stay-at-home mom, or you're a student just starting out. Every woman gets to a point in her life where she needs to shift to the next level. And my conference allows women to do that. And so I wanted to give that gift to women around the world, to hear their concerns, to hear their heart, to understand where they're at, what are some unique things to their country. My heart breaks for Ukraine right now. I cannot imagine those women in particular who are having to be disrupted. Their whole life is just thrown in the air, and they're trying to survive and trying to live and take care of their families. What do we do when life blows us up? What do we do when things seem like dire? And this is when you've had a chance to connect with yourself deeply, and in particular for me, to connect with your faith, what you believe and what you stand on. That's where you find your strength, and that's where you grow. So my goal in the next year or so in particular is to start that process for myself to grow and to spread my message, to empower women to be their very best self. And so that's what this time means to me, to do the work, to be the vehicle for Miss Plus World, to share the mission, which is so aligned to my platform, about uplifting, celebrating, elevating. There's women around the world doing amazing things already. Right. Makes me a little shine from the crown, a little shine to highlight what they're already doing and who they're already influencing. So that is what it means to me.
Well, I think that's really good. And I love the concept of being a humanitarian queen, because what people don't often fail to recognize, that the queen in the echelon of royalty is the person who connects closest to the people. She is the one who goes into the towns and speaks with the people who live there. People will call them peasants, but they see them as people. They're the ones who hear the needs of the people, and then she brings them to the king, And so oftentimes people think being a queen is you're set apart on some high hill and you look down low and you're like, I'm amazing, And really it's the people that are dealing with people. One of my coaching quotes is that connection is queen. And I think that you have that in your heart. And I can't think of a better title to encapsulate that, to just flat out call it like it is. This is what I do. And now I get the bling and all the things to go with it. Now, you talked about being a vehicle. Now, I know because we've talked, but I want, what does this look like? How do you plan on bringing Curves Beautifully Empowered merged with the mission statement of Miss Plus World around the world? What is your game plan for that? How do you plan on making that happen?
Well, we're 72 hours into the reign. And so after I say I do,
I want to know what you're doing today. I'm just kidding. Well, you're on an interview. There you go.
I'm going to say I do next week. I go on my little honeymoon. Next month, freshly, my goal would be to meet with the amazing Miss Plus World staff and all of my court, and figure out who where can we make this start at? And of course, my amazing team of people who support People Empowered from day one. We have, of course, support growing every year to understand how can we take what I'm doing here and create a version of it around the world. So my goal is to give them, even if we can't get the whole thing, a drop of CBE. You know, to have that workshop experience, to have that fashion and that mixed fit, that wellness, to have that heart experience. Because we all need that opportunity. So that's what we look like. Taking the show on the road, connecting with my Rhinestone sisters in all the different countries that we already have on the roster, to reach out to new partnerships and folks to collaborate with, and really see what can we actually do. We're still dealing with COVID. COVID is still a pain, you know, so making things a little difficult, especially in some other countries. But that's the goal. How can we take this on the road and really provide a Miss Plus World CBE empowerment experience as I represent this amazing title?
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I have a passport, so I would love to go, even if it's just to hold the hem of your garment. I'm just kidding. Okay. Sorry. But I think that's great. And it's cool because a lot of people want to do things internationally, but they don't have the network to do it. But now, just over this weekend, right, both virtually and in person, you have met queens all around the world, right, who believe in the Miss Plus World mission, and of course believe in you as well. I know they've grown to love you, and they've grown to get to know you, and they will get to know you more. So now when you have your sister in the BVI, or the one in Kenya, or one, you know, wherever, right, you know, Samoa, you know, you're like, okay, sis, you got this. I'm going to infuse you with the tools. When are we doing this, right? So that's a very unique opportunity to already have a kind of a system and a plan in place to offer an organization. You know, oftentimes women come to a pageant looking for something rather than bringing something, and you definitely brought something to the Miss Plus World organization, and I know that they're so grateful and so happy. Okay, so now I want to kind of like a little bit shift gears, because it's just you and I meeting on the show particularly. You talked about you're going to be getting married in like a week, like 10 days or something like that. And, but you know, oftentimes people are trying to figure out, like, how do I balance like being a queen and being a wife and working in social work, and then running a international organization that empowers women. And, you know, how does one do that? Because I think a lot of women feel like outside of their physical appearance, they may feel disqualified, but then they feel like, I got this going on, that going on, I can't do other things. So how do you plan on time managing? So I know we've talked about this, but how do you plan on prioritizing and time managing so that you can be the 100% queen you need to be, the 100% wife that you better be, and the 100%, you know, businesswoman and just inspiration that you would love to be?
Well, you know, first and foremost, everything I do, I pray God, ask for guidance to do it. And so everything from, you know, now there was a time period where it was not aligned, but now everything is aligned with my purpose of who I am. My job is to empower and inspire people. My job is to bring connection. My job is to help people manifest their dreams. And so everything in my life, even my beautiful fiance, soon to be husband, you know, when we first met, we were going out to dinner. We were on our way to the restaurant. They called our phone. And there was this young man who was just kind of walking towards us, and he has kind of his head down, hung down low, and his little sweatshirt on. He had this notepad in his hand, and you know, he was just going to shuffle, you know, by us. And my fiance said, "Hey, man. He said, "You draw?" And the young man said, "Yeah." He said, "Can I see it?" And then he paused, like, "Okay." He began to look through these amazing drawings. This is a very talented young man. He said to him, he said, "You are so talented. Don't you ever stop." And at that moment, I knew I found that was my husband. I said, yes, a man who understands the power of words, the power of encouragement, and the power of seeing people when they don't see themselves. Now, who knows how often I have heard that he is amazing at what he does. I don't know.
Mm,
So everything in my life at this point
mm,
aligns. My day job, it aligns. I'm serving, I'm helping people. When I think about my family, we are servers of the community.
yeah.
So this crown on or crown off, the work always happens. It's how I
Mm,
balance this. I make sure I sleep, drink my water, try to get my movement in, and sometimes I have to say no.
mm. That's pause. Let's pause right there. That is so good. And I want you to kind of pause there because I think that for whatever reason, we think we have to be everything to everybody in all things. And then if we
Mhm,
say no, there's a problem or, oh, we're a bad person. And people will
mhm.
make you try to make you feel that way. I've just
Absolutely.
recently in the last several years become very comfortable with the word no. Like, and that's in the form of I choose me. So, I have zero issues saying no anymore. But how did you get to the space of being able to say no so that you can operate at 100% in every role that you have?
Sure. Well, I ended up in the hospital. My body told me, "Hey, you're doing way too much." Right. So I was laying there. I was like, "Okay." So clearly, I'm doing way too much, and everything I was doing was wearing me out. I was always exhausted. I was always ripping and running. And I realized the reason why I was always doing that is because I was not doing the right things. I was not directing my
Mm,
energy in the right direction for what I should be working on. Now when I do things, I might be a little tired because I'm human, but my spirit's not exhausted. It is
mm,
rejuvenated. And that's the difference, right? So when you plug into where you need to be, you plug into a power source. You might be pouring out, but someone's also pouring into you. So it's a
right,
give and take. It's not always a pour out, pour out, pour out till you drain and you can't do no more.
right.
There's a give and take. So that's one thing that I learned. Two, I had to put myself first.
Choose you.
I have to put myself first in
Yes.
things that are important and that matter. I used to think that taking care of myself was like getting my hair done, getting my nails did, getting my feet done. And actually, it's more than that.
Yes.
It's being able to take a step back when you need to. It's about letting people know you have boundaries. I'm sorry, your toxic energy can no
Right.
longer be a part of this circle. It's understanding that my where do I have to what do I have to do right now?
Mm,
What can I do later? And then
mm.
how can I do it smarter? I was the person who would pull all the tables and the chairs up and driving around town, picking up all the food. And now I learned the word called delegation, honey. Let's collaborate and partner. Okay.
Yeah.
There are extra
I'm not
hands and
a
extra
delegate.
feet out there to use. And even though it's
Right.
hard for me, because I love to do everything myself. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'll take care of it. I can do it. My eyes closed. I can do it. No, I can't do it no more. I have to
That's
share. And in my sharing, I'm teaching. So being in Queens, that people are always
absolutely
watching you, as I become a married woman, my
right.
husband's watching me, and if I have blessed with children, they're watching me, and I serve in my church, they're watching me. So
I'm sorry. Did
um,
you just say that you're going to have children? Is that what I heard you say?
if I have, I'm a little mature in age, so the Lord blesses me. The Lord
Well,
blesses me.
amen to that. You're gonna have all kinds of titles. You're an international title, a married title, a mom title. Ooh, girl, it's a lot.
Who knows what God has in store? So
No, but that's
who knows? So, but that's what I do.
well, I mean that's very powerful, and I hope that these are takeaways that people are, embracing. That when you're thinking about saying no, that means sometimes you're saying yes to yourself, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because if you don't stop, your body will stop you. I've experienced that myself. I know you just shared about your hospital experience, and it's kind of like sometimes that's what you just have to do. And at the end of the day, I learned, and I know Kimberly, you didn't so much have this challenge as I did, but that living for other people is is a fruitless task because they will never be happy, they'll never be pleased, they're always going to want more and more and more. And then shifting to when I say living for yourself, I'm not talking about absent of God. I'm not talking about
Mhm.
absent of having God in your life, but I am talking about understanding that you have to first deal with this, first, right? And so I think that's what makes you such an amazing, amazing, amazing queen. All right. So my next question for you, Ms. Kimberly, is this is going to be kind of a weird turn here because you're so positive. But what are maybe some, I wouldn't say fears, but maybe just apprehensions or concerns that you may have about your reign? I know that I always go into a reign saying, I want to do this, this, this. I'm trying to make this difference. I want to do that. And, but then you think about logistics and facilitation. And as much as you want to do a CBE in all the continents and countries of the world, in 12 months, so what are maybe some, just to humanize you a little bit and in how you plan on I guess overcoming that or considering a contingency plan for that?
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. I cannot control all things. Gosh darn it, like it or not. So for me, I'll have a plan in place, but you have to be flexible. Like flexibility gives you peace of mind. So if I can't be there in person, you guarantee we'll use a virtual means to connect. We use a telephone tree for all care, but we will do something to connect with women across the world, So it can be sometimes I don't want to let people down. If I build up this great anticipation, it's something amazing, I can't deliver the way I want to deliver. Does that hurt? Absolutely. When COVID hit, I haven't been able to have my conference 2022 the way I wanted to. So I said, you know what, we're going to actually skip a year, priorities for 2023, because I did not want to skip on it. And in this particular time, things were not all aligning. So guess what? Sometimes when things don't work out, they just don't work out. And you have to pivot and figure out what's the next thing. There's always a reason why things kind of go the way they go. And it could be a saving grace later on down the road. It might not be, 2 weeks, but maybe 2 months later. So it's so important to be flexible. So there's always a little bit of fear that COVID might rise up again or something else horrible would, pop up again and cause harm. But, I'm going to do my very best. And I would hope that those who are supporting will understand I'm doing my best. If I can't pull off what I want to pull off, I'll get as close to it as possible, for sure.
Oh, I mean, let's see about that. I mean, that thought process is exactly what we need to have. And I think I've tried to learn to do that because sometimes when you want something so badly to a point where, you want it maybe too badly. And you're not the type of person, and you are amazing because I've seen you handle some very interesting challenges just in the last 2 weeks. And I'm ready to, punch a wall through. And you're just like, and so you have been able to overcome that. But what we're going to do, you guys, we're going to take a short little commercial break and we're going to come back. Our second queen is now in the green room. And so when we come back, she will be on the show. The Tasha Frazier Show is brought to you by Okay, so we're back. And again, those are two of my main businesses that actually fund me being able to do this. So thank you very much. If you're into skincare, makeup, or you want to love to travel or want to help other people travel, you know where to go. All right, so now we're kind of in the second part of the show, and I'm going to be bringing back the lovely Kimberly Walker and her Miss Queen. Wait, hold on, let me see. There we go. Can you move? Wait, that was weird. Let me do it different. No, I don't like that either. I'm too big. You guys, what's the better way to do it? Okay, hold on.
Maybe
sorry, guys. There we go. Let's do this. All right. So welcoming the beautiful Rachael Davis. And thank you so much. I'm glad you're able to make it. She is an educator by trade. And so she was making sure that one of her students was taken care of. And I think that's amazing. That's probably why she's going to be such a great humanitarian. Okay. And already is a humanitarian. So we've been able to hear from Kimberly. I did earlier in the show your crowning moment. And a really cute picture of you. So it was there. You can always watch the replay.
Yes.
But Rachael, I would love to hear from you, when I got to hear this from Kimberly, just how having a prestigious title such as humanitarian means to you, because it's such a lifestyle for you. And I mean, ultimately, queens should be humanitarians. So I guess why not wear it on our chests in bling? Why don't you share with me how that impacts you?
I think I'm still processing and still digesting it. Like I shared with someone else prior, I feel like I'm the same Rachael. I have the same passion, the same goals, the same drive. It's just now that I've been recognized amongst my peers and amongst the panel of judges, and I have, this prestigious title now, and I have this crown and this sash. I think it just really just amplifies who it is that I already am. And as such, it's going to help to amplify the impact that I hopefully will be able to have in the organizations that I'm working with. So I am really just looking forward to push those initiatives and to push these other charities forward and bring greater awareness and admiration to them. So I feel like I'm serving the title. So it's a tool. I should say it like that. It's a tool.
It is. It definitely is. And I mean, we're beautiful before, beautiful then, beautiful now. And I think that it's going to be easy, as I was telling Kimberly, for you guys to just incorporate this into just who you are and what you do. And something I said earlier on the show is that, a queen, and historically, queens were the ones who were the connected closest to the people. They weren't sitting up in a throne somewhere, getting served. I mean, they did, but then they always came into the towns and the cities and the highways and byways and connected with people. So being a humanitarian queen is quite, it should be a part of your role, but it's very prestigious, right? And I really wanted to shine a light on that. So I asked this to Kimberly earlier, and maybe you guys can tag team this again as well. But I know you have a lot of different things that you do. However, what is it that you would like to do or plan to do to really help people and basically utilize your tool, as you said, your shiny tool, to be able to get into hearts of people and do what you really love to do on a world scale, because you're an international queen. So you can go into any country you want and you are a queen there, like not just the United States of America. I know, did I just scare you? That didn't scare you?
No, hearing it said like that, I'm like, oh, this is really happening.
I'm just trying to tell you, girl, the whole world, you are the queen of listen, you can go into any country, and now you are not just representing US, you are representing humanitarian women all across the world. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It is a big deal. And I'm just so humbled and honored to be doing it. I work with a charity called Book Angel nonprofit. If you follow my pages, you'll see my hashtag that says Be a Book Angel. You may see this. And I've been able to partner with another organization called Love My Library. And so one of the projects that I'm working with Book Angel, it's called the Love My Library Literacy Fundraiser. And what makes it so amazing is that we have been able to leverage technology so that we could serve people outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So with this initiative and this campaign, it really doesn't matter where you're located at in the world. Students, learners, supporters, they can create their own profile, their own portal. We can work to fundraise resources for them, but it also gives them the opportunity to build their own at-home library, which is one of the main initiatives of Book Angel. And this partnership, it's made possible through Love My Library, through Ingram Books and the Book Depot, which helps us to save on cost in terms of shipping and resources and materials. And so again, it doesn't matter where you all are located in the world, we can still get books and resources out to you through this really innovative partnership and this collaboration. Of course, Book Angel, we have been, I'm going early in the morning to pick up over 500 books from a school that saw me online and that wanted to give. And so again, I'm just pride myself on being a working queen, and even at the pageant, I was working and connecting with different, stores and businesses in Houston. And so I'm really looking forward to pushing the initiatives of Book Angel. I'm looking forward to encouraging people to learn and to grow and to even explore other resources and other skills training like IT and cybersecurity, so that we can take full advantage of the current climate that we're in and still thrive, and still grow and just be our best selves and live our best lives. So there's a lot that I have going on, and I don't want to take up all the time, but those are some of the main.
You can take up the time. Kimberly got the first 30 minutes. I'm just kidding. But no,
Okay.
no. Absolutely, I think it's very unique. So I want you to kind of, okay, so you guys, I mean, oftentimes there's a stigma, right, about what beauty queens are and what they do or anything like that. And then there's an additional stereotype, I'm going to go there because this is my show, about, fuller figure beauty queens and what we are and what we do. And then we'll take it another level about what being a Black beauty queen that's curvy and what we are and what we do. Okay. And there's all these different layers of stigmas and assumptions, and you guys just completely break that mold. I mean, you have the Rachael who we're talking to right now she has done a major accomplishment of achieving a doctorate. She is just probably, I don't know, one of the most accomplished women at her age that I've really been able to come face to face with. And that's probably against a lot of different odds. And while you are gorgeous and curvy and wind blowing through the hair and woo, right. But you're like for real. You know what I'm saying? Like she probably would rather be in front of a computer and reading it or something, rather than in front of a camera. And so I just love that about you. But I want to ask you guys both. Okay, so you guys have different platforms per se, but the same heart for, the same demographic of women. How do you guys think you're going to tag team as humanitarian queens and kind of blending those together? So now it's like a trifecta. They have the Miss Plus World mission, the CBE mission, we got our reading and cybersecurity mission. So how are you guys going to cocktail that together? And maybe Kimberly, you can take the lead and then you guys can kind of just bounce off each other. I would love to hear this.
Well, we haven't had a chance, because 72 hours ago we were just crowned, to go into great planning about how we're going to work together. But
you don't have a blueprint already, Kimberly?
I know, shoot.
Where's the business
partnering and supporting each other. So, she's a call away for me, I'm a call away for her, and how we can leverage each other, platforms we will definitely do. The great thing about both of our platforms, that each of them need each other, right? Yeah. If I have women, we all should be reading as much as possible, and our children should be reading, right? So there's a bridge of connection right then and there, And likewise with her, I'm sure she encounters women or young girls or young boys who need to understand how amazing they are, how great they are, and how powerful they are at this stage of life. And so I can provide that too. So we will cross market and brand Miss Plus World with our platforms. Y'all will hear about us every week. You'll be so tired. I see our faces. You'll be like, ugh. Yay, but again, yay, right?
Please, don't worry. They're not going to be tired of you. You guys are such bright lights. Like when you smile, and I see you guys standing there together. I love the pictures you guys took together. It just emanates humanitarian. It emanates we love people. It emanates that yes, I'm a queen, but I am here for you. And so there's something about being glorious and glamorous and yet so approachable and just so loving in your disposition. And that just really sets you guys apart, honestly, from queens in general. You know what I'm saying? And so I really appreciate that. Now, Rachael, what's your little, take your little tab, what's it called when you play ping pong? Like
oh, yes. 10 different things, right? That we can do. I know with Book Angel, we have a running hashtag right now called Be a Book Angel. And so one of the ideas that I had was just getting with influential people like yourself and like Kimberly and other people that we've come across and just get, something as simple as getting someone to read a book online or to give us a little blurb that we can kind of create our own digital library of people that are relatable, that can have these conversations with young people and read books. That's something that's simple that we can do from home, right? That leverages technology. Like she mentioned, the cross branding and promoting, I'm open to travel and I'll hop in the car and I'll drive if I need to or fly to support her initiatives and her events and services. I know next month with Book Angel, we're having a book walk where we've partnered with another community college here locally. It'll be at Tarrant County College. I have another one of my sister queens that's helping to host that, Ms. Latan Henderson. And so we're going to be exploring Dr. Seuss's book, Oh, the Places That You Can Go, and people can go to different stations and read the book and do different physical activities. And it's going to be a great event that you can do in the community. Also with Book Angel, to date, over the last few years, we have been able to collect and distribute over $1 million worth of PPP, teacher resources, furniture, things like that. And so I have no doubt in my mind that for me this year, my goal is to use this title to double and to triple the numbers that we've been able to do. I know people saw me flooding their timelines several months ago with the Book Angel Readathon. And so that's something that I hope that everyone that would participate in and just, signing up with that and logging your minutes every day. We got close to 200,000 reading minutes. And so there's no reason why we can't exceed that by hitting 300,000 reading minutes. And getting closer to 300 new readers and learners to sign up for that particular initiative. And so, I sleep initiatives and I dream.
That's what it sounds like. I'm like, this is amazing.
So if you guys think about it, I just say, hey, let's put it on the calendar. I am game. I'm all for it. I'm going to put everything I have into it to make sure that it's successful.
Well, I love that. And I can only imagine what both of your guys is. Well, I know what Kimberly's was probably like, but I can only imagine what your guys' interviews were like and why you were just selected to have these prestigious titles. I mean, oftentimes people have dreams and have visions. They don't know how to actually articulate it, or they don't have the words, or they feel like they don't have the platform. And I really believe that you ladies are going to be kind of gateways for that, for people who think that they're not good enough, or they are, whether they're not pretty enough or they're not influential enough. And it's like, hey, I'm using books to get to people's lives. Like, so if you can use books, right? And then Kimberly, you can use, empowerment movements. Like, the sky is really the limit, and it doesn't matter what genre of interest you have. When I think about a lot of different queens and different systems, and oftentimes they're like science majors, and they're like, they're into STEM and all kinds of stuff, and there's not really a platform for that. And so that's one thing I really love about the humanitarian title specifically, is you guys can really make it about what you're passionate about. Like, because that's about what being a human is. We're all different. We all care about different things. There's things that move us and make us and shake us. And you're not necessarily quantified to just being beautiful or just being you actually get to operate as a person that connects to other humans. And I think that is super dope. Okay. All right. So Miss Rachael. All right. Now I asked this to Kimberly. Is there anything like that, not worry about, but just that maybe when it comes to your reign, there's a lot of things you want to do, right? Like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to walk on the moon, I want to, whatever, become president. I'm just kidding. But we want to do all these things. Is there anything that maybe you thought, like, that you're concerned about maybe not being able to do and that you would like to do, or anything like that? Because I ask these things because I know it's a weird question, because one, you're human. And I think it's important for people to know that just because you have this title, you're not like, oh, I'm so great in world peace and everything's perfect. Like, because that's just not it is. So why don't you go and share that with me, or with us?
If I could just be, y'all know I'm the queen of transparency, right? And sometimes I may not put it out there as eloquently as possible, but I think my biggest concern is about balance and wellness, because once I start to do something, I want to go all in, and I am super critical of myself. I'm really hard on myself. I can be a perfectionist, and so while I can provide grace to other people, it's hard for me to give that same grace and ease to myself. And so I think that's something that I'm just a little concerned about with the last couple years, with some of the challenges my family has had and I've had. There's, of course, the concern about just staying healthy. I know we're coming off of the pandemic and things like that, but there's still some little, cooties, for lack of a better word, that are floating around out there. And as a working queen, if you're not well rested and hydrated and things like that, you are more susceptible to be getting sick. And so in the back of my mind, that is something that I am concerned about. I want to be, relatable. I want to be at, different events. I want to make myself available. And I know the more visible I am, the more visible the patent system is, and Book Angel and other nonprofits and the work that I do in cybersecurity, the more visible that can be too. But I think just accepting the fact that I am a human and I do need to rest and I do need to take time for self, that is something that's a little concerning. And I think just a little bit we worry about being judged too. Like if people don't see us showing up and showing out 24/7, oh, she's not really doing her job, or that title should have been given to somebody else, And so there's that little me that they call little me, or that little mean girl, I think, inside of all of us, that I'm going to have to constantly keep in check and make sure that my core circle and the core friends that are around me that I can be open and honest and transparent with, that they're aware of too, so that we can kind of just keep me focused, right? And keep me in alignment. But I believe that, other things that are kinetic and that are tangible, those things can be overcome with, just faith of mind and with a little bit of innovation and strategy. Someone may see this and say, hey, they're concerned about, traveling to get to each other. Maybe they'll be willing to sponsor, us, a rental car, or maybe some flights, a couple of flights, things like that. And so, I'm prayerful and hopeful that things like that, those resources that we need to be able to make mega impact and to have supernatural impact, that they'll come and they'll be in place so that we can, complete our assignments to the best of our ability. I trust that that'll be there, but health and balance is the big thing I'm concerned about.
Well, first of all, thank you for your transparency. It's interesting because Kimberly, before you came on, kind of spoke to that a little bit. And I don't know, about having that balance and having and giving the power of the word no. And also understanding that because you take that time for yourself, that doesn't make you less of a queen. It doesn't make you less of anything. You're running yourself into the ground for what though? So I started to realize, that's kind of what's cool too about your title. So if anyone ever wonders why you're not going 24/7, because I'm a humanitarian. I'm just kidding. Hello, human. I'm just kidding. But you can remind them, of that, but it gives other people who are following and watching you, Rachael, permission to do the same. I started doing these things after I kind of got to the culmination or the crescendo of my personal healing journey. And when I decided to come back into the spotlight, I started doing what I called personal and public pauses. And literally, I created a flyer and everything. So everything shuts down for however long I want it to shut down. And I rejuvenate. Like when Superman flies to the sun and gets his power back and then he comes back, everyone's like, oh, you abandoned us. He's like, please, I would have been dead if I didn't go up there. And so there's nothing wrong with having what I call your sun, your SUN and your SON moment, right? But taking that break away from that and taking a personal and private and a private pause. Because for whatever reason, we will run ourselves in the ground for people who don't blink an eye. You might be there for your, it's like, you don't even know what's happening in my life, right? But you do. And so I just want to encourage you. And I know Kimberly has begun to master the power of no, which I'm very proud of her. Very proud of. She does it very easily. I'm sure she'll do it easier now that she has a husband, because he'll be doing it for her. he'll be answering calls, Mr. Harrison. No, I'm just kidding. And so, getting through. But definitely, understanding that. And I learned this in a organization I was a part of beforehand in their course, that no is a self-love word, right? And that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, I've been going. We just got back from Haiti. We just got back from here. And I need to just kind of woosah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So just knowing, and I'm sure your queen sister has some words and she can share with the audience as well as with you. I can tell she has something to say. Go ahead, Kimberly.
No, a lot of times we forget about who we are. We forget about what we need personally. We forget that we too have to close our eyes and rest. We too have to do things that bring us joy. If it's having a small cup of ice cream or that Starbucks or just taking that walk around the corner, that's ours to take. And so don't forget about who you are. Don't forget about what brings you joy, what allows you to get rejuvenated, get plugged in. So those kind of like my things. I remind myself, Kimberly, okay, you're doing everything. Well, some weekends I'm like 3 or 4 events in one weekend. I'm just like, okay, Kimberly, next weekend, no, have a seat, right? Mm-hmm. Don't forget about who you are as a core person. The things that in your inner life, your personal, your family, and those that you who are your again, I can't think, your heart. Mm-hmm. Like it's your heart people. Like don't forget about them, right? They need your time too. So my dad always tells me, he said, you don't want to be a public success and a private failure. Mm-hmm. Right? Don't be a public success and a private failure. So you want to balance how you're doing what you're doing. Do it well, do it passionately, do it with all the brilliance that you have, but know when to take care of home and take care of yourself.
Ooh, that's so good. I love that. I think, as a person, we talk about transparency. Everyone knows I'm very transparent. But I have done my fair share of being a public success and a private failure, whether it was matters of the heart, the mind, the spirit. And that is a very, very hard life to live. And eventually, you break. And I think it's really important that public figures such as yourselves are so transparent and are so real, because that's how you're really going to reach people. For whatever reason, when people get in positions of power or whatever, they think that they don't I don't talk to you. Yeah. It's like, what? Mm-hmm. Or I have this little clique and that defeats the whole purpose.
Right.
That defeats the whole entire purpose of you having this role. And so the reason I really wanted I threw you guys on the show because I wanted you guys to get you guys. I told you I'm going to get you running. You thought I was playing. I want to get you guys up and running, but also for the world to see the different types of queens there are. And there really are queens and systems for the people. And you guys are physical, beautiful representations of being a queen for the people. Mm-hmm. I just love that. Okay, so we have like 8 minutes left, and I'm gonna kind of just lighten it up just a little bit. I know that Kimberly is getting married. Okay, and that is a very amazing goal. And so I would just like to know kind of like how you're going to incorporate married life into queendom life. And tell us like how he feels about the fact that, his good thing, his woman forever is a whole entire beauty queen and like everything that you are.
He's so proud of me. This whole world is new to him. He's one of those guys, he goes to work, he goes home, this is regular stuff. So this whole pageant world, he's like, oh, okay, so what's that? What do you do? Where do you go? Why are you doing that? We're laughing because I was having some wardrobe things going on. And he said, well, where would you wear last time? I was like, you don't understand none of this, do you?
No, he doesn't. Blasphemy.
I know. I want the international stage, honey.
Bless his heart.
No, so for us, we're still learning to get to know each other. So he is really proud of me. He's trying to understand the ins and outs of this pageant world and my incredible being empowered and the fashion and all that I do. So really, he's there. He said, "I'm gonna support you. However you need me to support you, I'm gonna be there to support you." So okay, thank you, sweetheart. So for me, this will just be
I'm sorry, I'm dying right now.
I know. He
Where would you won in the last one? Like that one? Where that again?
Where that again? He did. He meant it too. Like, you know, bring some money. You know, we got a wedding. We moved into a new home, and I said,
like, if it worked once, it'll work again.
I know, but this will work that way. Okay.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, you know, in my married life, I'll continue this journey, but I'll have a partner with me who will be there to support what I do, and we gonna get him to be into pageant. So, we'll see. We saw Runaways.
That's gonna be hilarious.
Hey, I'm hopeful. I'm here for it too. So, you know, for me, it's just I will continue doing what I'm doing, but balancing my life to be a wife also, and it should be part of my journey. You know, like I say, everything in my life it aligns. If we don't align, gotta go. So I'm marrying someone who understands the values that I have, understands my passion for people and my service. He gets it. So we good. We good.
Yeah. That's hilarious. That's so funny because my husband, he'll walk around. He's like, she was a 3-time beauty queen. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's not like I'm a heavyweight champion of the world or something. But however they express it, I think is really cute that they're proud. Okay, so Miss Rachael, I don't really know about you, but I want to know, you know, if you have anyone special, and if you do, how do they support you in this journey turned international, world-renowned humanitarian beauty queen?
Well, you've heard my little special somethings in the background. That was Monty and Dr. Phil, my pit bull, and my miniature schnauzer.
I'm
deposit
Dr. Phil. That is hilarious.
Great name.
Yeah, but in terms of relationship, you know, I'm single. I guess I'm at that place now where I'm ready to mingle. It's just like Kimberly said, just about connecting with someone that has a shared sense of values and that is a gentleman and that it can be respectful and even supportive of the different things that I have going on and not be intimidated by that. And so I'm open, but I am single. And so
everyone hear that. She is open, but you must be respectful and not be intimidated by the powerful, amazing queen and woman of God that she is. And I know how that can be. I think all three of us know how that can be, right? Where instead of being seen as a blessing, it's like, oh, that's a lot. But the right person's going to be like, like what's her name? Goldilocks. She said one's too hot, one's too cold, and one was just right. You know? So that will definitely be a just right moment. Now, is there anything that you guys would like to close with? Any closing statements you'd like to share and leave the audience with before we end tonight's show? Kimberly?
Well, I'll yield to Rachael. I did a lot of talking today.
Well, I would like to say, first and foremost, thank you so much, Tasha, for just having me on your show and for just being so welcoming and inviting and helpful and encouraging, you know, after the pageant and everything. It means the world to me. I'm really humbled by it. To people who are watching, I hope that you found what we shared valuable. And I hope that you would continue to follow us on our journey, to check out what it is that we're doing and reach out to us. If you have an idea or if you're looking for some type of support or collaboration, we really are open to it. And like she shared, I am really looking forward to building on top of the legacy of former queens and really charting just I don't want to say a new path, but definitely having supernatural and mega impact. And so we can't do that without you all participating and engaging with us. So thank you in advance.
Absolutely. I'll second that. And, you know, if you don't know what your purpose is, you're trying to figure it out, you know, it's not too late. It's never too late. Your purpose is your power, and the world needs what you have. It needs what you have in here. It needs to come out of your mouth. You need to tell it to everybody. So stay encouraged. Do not stop. If you feel like you're failing, go ahead and fail forward. Keep going. You're going to be all right. We are here. We are happy to connect with you. If you want to partner, please let us know. If you want to sponsor us, please let us know. We want to reach the world. So please. I'm Kimberly Walker, your Miss Plus Intercontinental Humanitarian Ambassador 2022. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Tasha, for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It was an honor. These women are just as fabulous in person as they are an interview that I threw them into 2 days after being crowned. And I'm very proud of you guys. You guys rose to the challenge. And something that Kimberly said, of course, goes with my mantra, you guys. And you guys already know, my audience knows that I always say that it's never too late to choose you, change your path, and walk in your purpose. Thank you for watching the Tasha Haskins Now Frazier show. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm now bi-weekly, so we will see you 2 weeks for our next guest. But thank you, ladies, for coming on. And you guys take care. Have a great evening.
Bye.